Now, our next speaker is Dr. Mamatha Achanta from India, and she'll be discussing on the gender dimensions of violence against children and adolescents and comparative analysis from global south to north on women's human rights. Dr. Mamatha Raghuveer Achanta is the founder of Tharuni, an organization that works for the empowerment of women and adolescent girls. Since its formations in 2000, Tharuni has contributed immensely to the protections of girls' child rights by organizing several campaigns against child marriage, child labor, child trafficking, infanticide, and forticide. Tharuni stopped thousands of child marriage and helped the girls to continue their educations. Tharuni forms Balika Sanghas, girls' child clubs in rural villages for girls in the age of 10 to 18 years and could mentor 19,000 rural girls in the past 2 decades. Dr. Mamatha is a pro bono advocate and also technical director to Telangana State Police for the Bharosa Support Center, a one-stop crisis center for rape victims. The list goes on and on about her. So she also participated on the invitations of the American government in the International Visitor Leadership Program in person in 2009. So now I would like to request Dr. Achanta to So, happy International Women's Day to you all. Very happy to celebrate this International Women's Day together with almost all the women from different countries here. So, very happy. I would like to start before starting my presentation, I would like to recite one small sloka from Manusmriti. यत्र नार्यस्तु पूज्यन्ते रमन्ते तत्र देवतः यत्रस्तु न पूज्यते सर्वस्तत्र फलक्रियाः. Where women are honored, where the gods rejoice. Where on the other hand, if they are not honored, all the actions will become fruitless. This is a sloka from Manusmriti. I am Dr. Mamatha Raghuveer Achanta from India, where the women are honored as goddesses and given utmost priority in every ritual in Hinduism, and they are treated as embodiments of energy, that is Shakti. So I am asked to today do a comparative analysis of violence against women from global south to north on women's human rights. If you see, the Istanbul Convention defines violence under 4 key forms: physical, sexual, psychological, and economic. And during COVID-19, a study was done by UN Women in 13 countries from global south to north, which revealed that there are many types of violence, particularly the physical abuse is 36%, sexual harassment is 40%, verbal abuse is almost 50%. So you all know that we have set our sustainable development goals addressing violence against children and violence against women. Goal 5 and 16 to eliminate all kinds of violence on women and children by by 2030. And the decades of research, decades of work done by the researchers using feminist lens provided evidence that the patriarchal family structure, which creates an environment that normalizes all forms of violence. I've been listening to this since these 3 days. Everywhere, every country, it is the same, and definitely this also reinforces the subordination of women. We still see that there are reports of UNICEF on violence against children. There are reports of UN Women on violence against adolescent girls and women. When 1 out of the 3 women experienced intimate partner violence, when 9 out of 10 adolescent girls reported forced sex, and 1 in 5 women married before 18 years. So these statistics, I feel, are very disappointing. Even when we reach 2023, I think there is only 7 years left to achieve our SDGs by 2030. So we are still having very, we have to achieve so much, and we are still facing so much of that violence is still increasing. You can see that every country has some kind of representation in the sphere of violence against women. So so let's talk, because people are talking about all these 3-4 days from 6th onwards, and this time I would like to, for a change, talk about few solutions, and which are very important, which can be scaled up, which can be emulated. So when we see from global south, I could find 2 solutions. One is well-designed and implementable parent support programs to reduce parental stress, for improved relationships, to reduce violence in the family. We see domestic violence being increased day by day. Particularly after COVID-19, we have seen a 3/4 increase in domestic violence. So maybe this kind of parental support programs will help. And gender equity movement in schools, it is called JUMPS in India. Similarly, Prepare in South Africa, which focused on adolescents to reflect critically on prevailing gender violence norms. So these 2 solutions are implementable and can be scaled up in any other country. Similarly, I have seen in global north, particularly involving men and boys program in US, and also Vienna strategy in Europe, creating fem cities, a network of gender equity, are few examples in global north where these solutions could help in reducing the violence against women. And we can see that many school-based initiatives have been taken up both in Asia and South Africa and in other African countries, like Tharuni in India and Makani, MySpace in Jordan, could engage community leaders and parents for community involvement, which is very important for reducing the violence against women. Similarly, social assistance programs like cash transfers, like Social Cash Transfer Plus in Zimbabwe for poor households, where particularly they are free of violence. Similarly, scholarships for education in many countries for the girls to study are also helping. So if you see in India, definitely the scenario is very grim. We have umpteen number of cases, and we have umpteen number of
cases of violence against women. But still, India is battling, and we have, because we are the most populated country, and 50% are women. The country is struggling to bring in various initiatives, particularly we have a common helpline 181 throughout the country, which is run by government. Similarly, there is Beti Bachao, Beti Badhao, Save Girl Child and Educate a Girl Child program. Supporting the girl child. This program has been very successful, and also for supporting the victims of violence, we have one-stop centers throughout the country called Sakis, and which give care and shelter for the distressed women. We also have Swadhar groups and Ujjwala schemes for the trafficked women. So all these they help in rehabilitation and support. But still, we have so many things. From my experience running this NGO called Tharuni, we have been experimenting so many, strategies. The best strategy I could found was the formation of girl child clubs, where we could mentor the adolescent girls, how to prevent violence, the life skills required to them, we train them, and also how to report violence when it happens. So all these things helped most of the families in coming out of the circle of violence. The girls became change agents over the period, and they themselves stopped child marriage. They themselves report violence, and they could get, even in one village, they could get 20 liquor shops closed in this pandemic. So they become very strong, and they can do a lot of things, and I feel that they are the present and future generation representatives. We also work with the boys. We have started very recently working with the boys. Particularly, we catch them young, 10 to 14 is the age group. We try to make them gender champions, and they have started helping their mothers now. They have started, the gender stereotypes. They have started, working against them. So all this definitely helps, and these strategies can be easily emulated. So finally, we have two things to do. One is to support all the victims of violence against women, which is very important. We can have two-pronged approach. Particularly, one is crisis-driven interventions, where immediately we need to support them. And second thing is creating, follow-up, do the follow-up by creating peer groups or support groups, so that they can support them for a long period of time. Then I feel prevention is the cure to achieve gender just society. So preventing violence is very important. So for that, one is changing views and behaviors in the society. Even we as women have many such views. We have to change, and also change the views of women. And awareness raising, of course, we have to do it continuously. And targeting young people, because young people can, I think, mitigate the boundaries of masculinity and sexuality, and they can bring change in the society, and they can feel that they can make it, gender just. And also, definitely working with the men for reducing violence. Women should, last one is, I feel that women should support women. W for W, we should unconditionally support each other, and encourage each other, so that we can achieve. And I find that through their Women Federation in Nepal, which which they have started. And I really admire them, how they have come up with 300 NGOs together working for the cause of violence against women. So I really appreciate Nepal Women Federation, and I thank them. They are our neighbors. We don't have boundaries. We don't have visas to enter Nepal. And so thank you, Women Federation Nepal, for giving me this opportunity, and also the Global Coalition for Every Woman Treaty and NGO CSW 67 for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mamatha. Now our next speaker is Renu Sugapati from Nepal. She is a founding member of feminist Dalit organization FEDO. FEDO is an NGO founded in 1994 and has been working against caste and gender-based discriminations throughout the nation. She is an executive member of International Dalit Solidarity Network. SIP also provides training on gender rights, leadership, UNHCR 1325-1820, and advocacy. She is also the treasurer of Women NGO Federation. She advocates the issue of Dalit women from local level to national level. Ms. Sugapati, I would like to request you to discuss on gender-based violence scenario among Dalit women in Nepal.